If you are struggling with making friends, you are not alone. There are so many people in the 30s age group and also in the late 20s age group. People are finding it so hard to make friends. I know it seems a lot of times that you're alone in this, like you're the only one who just can't seem to make good quality friendships, but you are not alone. Like, I know so many people that are going through the exact same thing. It does not mean for 1 second that you are odd or weird or unlikable. This is a very normal thing that is happening to our age group, honestly. Make sure you stay to the very end to hear the most important and accessible way that I guarantee that you can make friends today. Making friends in your 30s can seem really challenging and daunting, especially if you've moved to a brand new city. Maybe you are self-employed or housebound and there are just not a lot of ways you can make friends. Or maybe you've decided to start a new life somewhere completely different. New job, new everything. I've actually found the people that struggle the most with making friends in their 30s are those who do not have like a 9-to-5 workplace. Whatever situation you find yourself in, if you struggle with making friends in your 30s, then you're in the perfect place. So a little bit about me, if you don't already know, I'm in my mid-30s. I've not only experienced moving to a different city, but I've also had the experience of moving to a different country. I am not only chronically ill, which means I'm housebound a lot of the time, but I also work for myself. I'm a content creator, so I work from home. So I don't have the opportunity to go and make friends in a work environment. Here are 5 ways to not only make friends, but build long-lasting friendships in your 30s. Number 1, join a club or a group. Find a club or a group that aligns with your interests. Whether it's a sports team, a book club, joining a cooking class, whatever it is. This is a great way to meet people that have the same interests as you. My friend Ashley is a great example of this. She moved to a completely different city, and one of the ways she's made new friends is by joining a book club. Now, this girl loves to read. She loves books, and she really has found a lot of great quality friendships by being in a book club. I think sometimes we can forget that there are so many people like us going through exactly the same thing. You know, people move to different cities all the time. People change jobs. People also move to different countries. Like, it's happening everywhere. And so there's a huge group of people also looking to make new friends. And they also want to find people who have the same common interests as them. In the same train of thought, modern churches often have age-specific meetups and also groups like life groups where you kind of meet like maybe once a week or every other week or sometimes once a month. You hang out, you have food, and you just talk about life. You just do life together. I've found this really helped me in the past because it made me feel less lonely. And I found a lot of people my age that I wouldn't have met otherwise who not only share the same interests that I have, but also share the same beliefs as well. The second way that you can make friends in your 30s is by volunteering. Volunteering for a cause that you deeply care about can be a fantastic way to meet new people. And you can also build really good quality connections with people based on similar values. There's something really special about joining together for a cause that's really close to your heart. Justice, compassion, and kindness really draws people together. And usually you'll find people that you might not have met otherwise in life. Are you an animal person? Could you volunteer at a shelter? What about a food bank? Making friends doesn't mean exclusively looking just for people in your age group. I know many friendship groups with a variety of ages in it. And I actually find that it makes the group richer because you get a wealth of experience and also wisdom. And usually a lot of times this can happen when you volunteer for things because you won't just get a specific age group, you'll get a variety of ages that join together for one cause. What about going on a missions trip to another country? I know for me, some of the trips that I've actually volunteered on, I've made lifelong friends. The third way to start making friends in your 30s is to actually go to local meetups and events. Many towns and cities host a variety of social events all throughout the year. Things like food festivals, Christmas markets, as well as community days. Everyone from the local area is encouraged to join in. My local town even has a Facebook group that they use to advertise all the events happening throughout the week. A recent event that was advertised, unfortunately I was too sick to actually go to it, but it was like a big kids event where they hosted 90s and early 2000s music. How do you even say that? Like early noughties music. I feel really odd saying like naughty on YouTube, but like that sort of era of music. And people were pretty much just invited to go and be a big kid for the afternoon and to meet people their age or who grew up in the same era. A lot of local communities use Facebook as a way to advertise everything that's happening. So I would make sure you go on there and check to see if your town or your city or your neighborhood has a Facebook group that you can join. Many churches as well actually also hold community outreach days where people are just invited to get together. There's usually music and food and also things you can bring kids along to, because if you think about it, in your 30s, you have a variety of people who are in different seasons, whether they are single, whether they are newly married, whether they have kids, whether they don't have kids. Like there's a huge amount of different people in our age group. There's also a common misconception that at these like church outreach community days that you have to be a Christian to go, or you're going to be forced to go to church after, or you're going to be expected to go to church that weekend. Having worked personally on a lot of these community outreach events, you don't have to be Christian. You don't have to believe what we believe. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You don't have to go to church ever. I'm being for real here. There is no commitment needed. A lot of these outreach events are just put on so people don't feel lonely in the local area. It's exclusively to help people and also to give others a way to connect that live in the same area. If you are finding value from this video, it would help me so much if you considered subscribing. Also liking and sharing this video as well. The fourth way to start making friends in your 30s is knowing a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend. I've had so many friends later on in my life because a friend actually knew of someone and knew of me, and they're like, oh, they'd be so good together. They'd be really good friends. They have a lot in common, or they see things in this way. It's almost like word of mouth or like blind dating, but with friendships. Even my mom has met girls at different events and introduced me to them later on, knowing that I would really get on well with them. And actually, there's been quite a few that I'm still really good friends with to this day. You'd be surprised who knows who, and don't be afraid to ask people around you, people that you know, like if they know of anyone in your like age group. In the same thread as women, we tend to need a lot of upkeep and maintenance. Like we get our nails done, we might get waxed, we get our hair done, we go get our lashes done, whatever it is for you. Some of my most loyal friends have happened because they initially offered me a service. That sounds kind of dodgy, but like whether it was like cutting my hair or doing my nails or whatever. For example, my friend Ashley, who I mentioned before, I only got to know her because she cut my grandma's hair, and then I heard she was really good, so I got her to cut my hair, and then she cut my mom's hair, and our friendship has just grown over the years. And to this day, she was one of my most precious friends. Like maybe you need to be more open to the people that are right in front of you. Like Ashley and I probably wouldn't have met under normal circumstances since we have very different interests. But we did have one special interest in common aside from my hair, and that was cats. And we even created our own fur family because she adopted 2 of our farm cats. So we are forever linked by that. So I just like to encourage you, some of the most incredible people and the most loyal friendships can be found by someone right under your nose. Also, if you are in your 30s, I would love to know down below in the comments a way that we on this channel can cultivate a community just for someone like you. The 5th way of making friends in your 30s and also cultivating long-lasting friendships happens online. This way of making friendships is so close to my heart. You know, there used to be an assumption that the only people that you ever met online were like weirdos and like oddballs. Can I tell you that is so far from the truth? And also, if you are one of those people who look down at others who make friends online, then honestly, shame on you. You are missing out on some of the best friendships on this earth. Usually this assumption happens from like the older generation because they're just not used to making friends in that way. Like in order for them to connect with someone, they have to see them face to face or they have to physically be in the same room. But if you only listen to one point in this whole video, let it be this one. Most of my high quality friendships that I would literally trust with my life have come from people I meet online. A lot of you know my chronic illness story, and if you don't, I will put a link to the video up here. But after 8 years of illness and being practically housebound for most of those 8 years, the community and friendships that I have made online have kept me from being consumed with the most severe loneliness and also kept me from being suicidal. It used to be that you use forums or community websites to kind of meet people online. I know for me, there were a lot of health forums that I got to meet girls that were just like me going through the exact same thing, and you really do forge real relationships. It's amazing what compassion and empathy and kindness from strangers can do for you when you're in a really dark place and the people you have around you in real life just don't seem to get it. After my time on forums, I actually got introduced to Twitch, which is a online gaming streaming platform. But now I think you can do other things than just stream games. But being on Twitch honestly changed my life because from Twitch, I learned about Discord servers and bam, my life would never be the same. Once I found out what Discord servers are and communities online from like Twitch and YouTube, I was never going to be lonely again. Like you don't even need to be a streamer yourself to find a community. You can just join one based on a streamer that you love or a game that you love or even an activity now. There are even loads of big sports communities that are now hosted online where you can watch games with other people online. I know for me, I watch a lot of games, especially Champions League games with my friends online. I don't go to the pub. I go to Discord and I watch it there. Although some of my friends have questionable taste in teams like Real Madrid. So maybe you can go online and find a streamer or a YouTuber that you just vibe with and you just like their community. I would highly suggest you just throw yourself in and start being active. Just start making conversations on stream, get into the server, and you'll be amazed what friendships come from that. I found this even more when I began streaming myself, that I was able to cultivate my own community. I've also met some incredible women who I love and adore from simply liking a post on Instagram. Yes, you heard me right. Liking a post on Instagram has brought me some of my most favorite friendships. One of the sweetest people ever I actually met through her boyfriends who used to stream, and we were kind of part of the same community. And me and her actually started talking a lot on Instagram. Her name is Britt. She is an absolute angel, and I really wish we lived not only in the same country, but in the same town. But she's just amazing. Rabbit hole can run deep. You can find people who have an interest in anything. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. Sometimes, just like with any friendships, online relationships don't always work out. I'm not saying that as soon as you put yourself out there, go online and make friends, that these friends are going to stick with you forever and they're going to be the most amazing friendships. It really does take effort from both parties, especially online, because you're not physically in the same room. It takes effort from both sides to make the friendship work. Also, with it being online, it is a lot easier for people to be two-faced and fake. So as much as I encourage exploring different communities, you also have to have your wits about you. You have to be cautious and never give your personal information out unless you are 1,000,001% sure that these people are who they say they are. Like for me, I think only in my years of being online, a handful of people have my actual number. Like these are people that I would trust with my life. Practicing wisdom in the online world is an absolute must, honestly. As much as there are opportunities to build incredible lifelong friendships, just like with anywhere else in the world, there are always going to be people who are looking to exploit or take advantage of others. So be wise about who you trust. If you are someone who is finding it hard being single in your 30s, then make sure you click this video right here.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast, and every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep